Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. The president addressing Nigerians on New Year's Day reads Riot Act to fuel crisis masterminds and kicks against politics of religion and ethnicity, as well as the call for Nigeria's restructuring. Nigerians usher in 2018 with prayers, goodwill messages and colorful fireworks displays in parts of the country. Bleak New Year celebrations for some indigenes of rivers in Kaduna states as attacks by gunmen leave 18 persons dead. And more protests break out in Iran for a fifth day as President Hassan Rouhani vows to crack down on lawbreakers. Now, for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. Also, please log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You'll also have access to the Eyewitness feature with which you can share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow the instructions. Now, here are some of the pictures you sent into our Eyewitness portal today. Let's begin with this one from Abuja, that's the Federal Capital Territory, showing a waste heap around Gwagwalada local government area. Our Eyewitness reporter claims improper refuse disposal has become the norm in the area and wants steps taken to curb it. We move on to Katsina State with this image showing the poor state of a primary school in Kabalawa town. Our Eyewitness reporter says the environment is not conducive for learning and wants the authorities involved to do something about it. Still on infrastructure development are these images from Karu, area of Nasarawa State, showing the dilapidating structure of Government Science Secondary School. Our Eyewitness reporter claims the facilities are poor and the students are exposed to harsh weather conditions with no security. We end with this picture of Arachukwu Ohafia Road in Abia State. Our Eyewitness reporter says the road is owned by the federal government and has been in this state for some years now, making commuting difficult for residents. Don't forget that you too can report events as they happen around you. Just download the Channels TV free apps and follow the instructions. And from there, we're moving on to our Abuja studios where Gloria Ume Ezeoke is waiting. Happy New Year, Gloria.
Happy New Year, Ladi. Christians in Abuja, the nation's capital city, were also part of the New Year celebrations as they marked the day with special prayers and thanksgiving. Some religious leaders used the occasion to encourage Nigerians to be positive about the New Year while asking the government to alleviate the sufferings of the people.
Christians gather in their churches for prayers and thanksgiving to usher in the new year. And at 12 midnight, dazzling fireworks lit the air. Later in the day, the first church service of the new year is held in some of the churches. One after the other, these Christians receive the Holy Communion, a way of sanctifying themselves for the new year. They're charged to remain hopeful of a better year.
Wherever we find ourselves, we have to show the light. We are children of light. Today, in our service, we have been told that God is already going ahead with us, ahead of us into the year. And let us live out the life of Christ in Nigeria.
There are also words to the government.
What we have in Nigeria for a long time before now is that there are only a little few who enjoy the resources of the land. And most of the times, those people who are enjoying the resources of this land do not have the real connection with the reality on ground with the poor masses. So we want the government to pay more attention to what goes on in the lives of the poor masses. you can revisit the issue of the minimum wage. It's still something that they have not attended to at all.
They should stop the blame game now and begin to look forward to providing proper governance in this country. Make life a lot easier and better for Nigerians.
These Christians are heading into the new year with renewed hope and expectation for a better life.
At the Cathedral Church of Christ, Marina, Lagos, the Bishop of the Lagos Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Adebola Ademowo, admonished the congregation to reflect on the challenges of the country and chart a new course for the nation's growth.
Many Christians from their busy schedule found their way to the crossover services in anticipation of a better 2018. The crossover service at the Cathedral Church of Christ begins with procession hymn. Then a call to worship. The congregation goes into an intense prayer.
The first congregational hymn marking the beginning of the new year at the Cathedral Church of Christ, Lagos. They are starting 2018 on a thankful note with celestial songs to show their level of appreciation and also commit the beginning of the new year in God's hand. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, Orelukwe Adijoke Adefulere, takes the Bible reading to mark the first day of the year. And then the Bishop of the Lagos Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Adebola Ademowo, takes the first sermon of the year, reminding the congregation of the need to reflect on the challenges the country is facing at this present time.
Let us continue to pray on a daily basis concerning the challenges we are facing as a nation. Unemployment, poverty, robbery, kidnapping, communal clashes, insurgency, and pray for global peace in the world.
And then the Thanksgiving hymn continues. The night before, the Cathedral Church of Christ came alive as many Christians gathered for the crossover service. The congregation then ushered in the new year with a prayer session, seeking spiritual intervention for a better new year.
Unity, peace, and concord.
By the dart of...
Meanwhile, it was a night of praise and prayers as thousands of worshippers gathered at the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos for a watch night service put together by Covenant Christian Center. In his message titled Return to Bethel, the senior pastor, Pojo Yemadu, encouraged the congregation to allow God's plan to guide them in their decision-making in 2018. Our correspondent, Chris Illems, reports.
If you came here with a chest pain,
Few hours to the new year, worshippers gather at the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos for the Covenant Christian Center Watch Night service. The atmosphere is filled with praise and worship as they appreciate God for the outgoing year and look forward to the new year with great expectation. An hour to the new year, the host pastor, Pojo Yemade, gives his charge to prepare the congregation for 2018.
The Spirit of God cannot move where men are exercising their will. The problem with the Pentecostal experience is that it's need-driven, need-centered, and it is held back by the will of men. Do you understand what I'm saying? Which means the prayers are, what will I eat? What will I drink? This is what is limiting us, that we are unable to get to the rivers of living water. 10, 9, 8.
With the new year approaching, the countdown begins.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And with fireworks and shout of joy, they usher in 2018. Prophetic declaration for 2018 soon follows.
And this shall come to pass in your life, like as Rebekah heard words as Isaac spoke to Esau about how the blessing will go, so shall you hear conversations this year which will change the course of your life. As David heard of Saul's intent of doing him harm and damage, so shall you hear when harm is planned against you.
With the declaration done, the service comes to a close. Now the people await the fulfillment of the word to make it a truly happy new year. Chris Elams, Channels Television News.
The crossover services at some other Pentecostal churches witnessed a huge turnout of the faithful. Some of the clerics who spoke to Channels Television made predictions laced with hope for 2018. Nigerians, including those in leadership, were also admonished to walk in love.
In 2018, God will give you what money cannot buy.
Whether it be in their prayers, singing, or the fact that many showed up at various worship centers just gives you the indication that these ones want God's direction for 2018. Across the metropolis, Pentecostal faithful came out in their numbers to thank God for the year ends 2017. As the clock ticked and eventually hit the midnight hour, sounds and shouts of joy greeted the new year. To survive the year 2018, some navigational rules were offered.
How many of you know when there is life, there is hope? Tell your neighbor, look back and be grateful. Number 2, I want you to look up. To look up to God before you look ahead into 2018. That is the reason for tonight's meeting. We are here gathered together to look up unto God to receive direction for the year 2018. So look up and then look ahead into 2018 and be hopeful.
The year has begun in earnest, and these faithful think they got what it takes to trudge on.
From the pulpit, it's going to be a prosperous year. It's going to be a year. It's a year where we also have to strengthen our love for God as well.
And for 2018 Nigeria, what I believe is the process of a rebirth. There's a renaissance that we are going to witness this year, because what we have experienced are birth pangs. And so these paroxysms of the difficulties that we face politically and economically, for me, can translate into birth pangs that would fructify in the rebirth of Nigeria to such a place where new structures, a new dawn for us will emerge. And I think that's it. It's very hopeful.
They may be located differently, but the message is the same from the faith-based community. It has to be God all the way if 2018 will happen as ordained by Providence. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
When the news at 10 returns, renowned economist Bismarck Rewane advocates holistic infrastructure development in his response to President Buhari's broadcast. That's some business news. Let's join us again.